about now, I'm with one of the greatest producers, one of the greatest artists, definitely the owner of one of the most prolific sound system when it comes to dubplates in the world right now, and author to the world, Wyclef Jean. How you doing, sir?
Yaga yo. Yo, let them know where you at, that we up in here. We heavy, you know. I just finished the whole big book thing. And you know, when I do interviews, I don't drink, I don't eat gum. The only reason, you know, he the only one that could come to my car, you know, I trust him, you know what I mean? So this is like beyond exclusive, you know? There's VIP, then there's beyond the VIP. And you already know the Jamaicans be cheating. You know what I mean? They be cheating with the music and on the track and field. They have everything. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5.
But Haitians got the biggest thing, the first Black Republic. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, but y'all got Hussein Bolt, man. I just started eating yam now.
Now, of course, right about now, it's all about purpose, the immigrant story. It's also all about your legend. But let's start with the book. As anybody's read the book, the first thing that hits you is Earthquake, Jimmy O, and the little girl that gave you hope. So tell us a little bit about it.
I mean, the book is basically, my first book is a memoir. And it's a story, it starts off with, because a lot of people seen Haiti in the news, but I give you a first-hand when I land 24 hours. And that chapter is called The Invisible Man. So to be in my country at that time and to be standing in the middle of the rubble and to be invisible where no one sees me shows you how it went down. Losing a real good friend to a building falling down on him and crushing him when a police stopped him, and then the earthquake started. The building fell, killing the police and my friend and toppling him, you know, to helping save a girl from under the rubble, you know, and thinking all hope is lost, and then later to find out that she's still alive. So that's some of the stuff that happened, which is good stuff.
Speaking about your friend, just, you know, to let our viewers know a little bit about Jimmy O.
I mean, Jimmy O was a kid, you know, that when I went to Haiti in the time after Aristide, they took him out the country. There was a high level population of gangs. And, you know, and Jimmy O was one of them kids that, he was a very tough kid, you know, and it could have went either way for him. And what I did was I introduced him through my foundation at the time, Yele Haiti, because he was a rapper. And I said, you can use that as an alternative. And I got Jimmy O a visa. You know what I'm saying? I was like, as long as y'all gonna put the guns down, you know, I'm gonna work with y'all. And actually, Jimmy O was like the first like Haitian hip hop Creole that got a Blur mention in Rolling Stone magazine.
Right.
And also he did a record with The Game. When Jimmy O went to LA, Hollywood producers wanted to already work with him because of his look and of his vibe. They was like, yo, we need you for film. So that was just one sprinkle, taking a kid out of the island, getting him a visa, and just giving them that visibility and that chance. And that's what I think all island kids need. You know, you just need that one chance. That one chance, yeah.
That's a real talk.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean there's going to be some unreleased Jimmy O stuff that you might be putting out there?
I mean, definitely, you know, there's a lot of good Jimmy O stuff that we feel that the world should at least hear. Right now, not only do we have the book, but we have the ebook too. And in the ebook, we have like 5 songs, because certain people don't like to read. Certain people like to hear it, and somebody reading it for them and they hearing it. Right. So we have the ebook too, so you can get Purpose online, the ebook. And when you're traveling, you know, just chilling on the block, I drink a Guinness or something, say, yo, let me see what Wyclef about, you know, and you just put on your headphones. And we have music that goes with the ebook too.
Hot. Now, you also talk about you growing up. You know, you left Haiti when you were around 9, but you gave us a little picture of living in Haiti before 9. Give the viewers a little taste of that.
I mean, for me, that's like when I went to Jamaica back in the days and I checked Movado, you know, cassava peas, you know what I mean? And, you know, or like I remember, you know, like roaming town, different places with Buju Banton, you know, just, I don't see no difference with Haiti and Jamaica, you know. Like the start of my book, it's not only a Haitian story, it's a Caribbean story. Right. The fact of being born in a situation where, you know, we don't have electricity, you know. Our electricity is the sun. You know, the fact sometimes you're so poor, you know, you rely to eating dirt on the floor, you know.
Right.
And But somehow every month or every 2 months, grandma would always find a way to provide that Sunday meal. When a goat, get cut, you're so happy, the goat getting cooked, that rice and beans, you get that once in a while, and how much you appreciate that, and the idea though of us from the Caribbean, no matter how poor we are, man, that one uniform, you have to go to school with that uniform.
Right.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? And
it has to look clean.
It has to look clean all the time. And so to me, when someone reads it, they have to be like, oh, this is not just Wyclef's story, this is my story,
And thank you for the Buju. Big up. Untold stories, of course. Now, was there a beginning inkling? You mentioned when you were about to leave that you and your brother knew you had to come back to Haiti. Was there a beginning of that political fire within you at that point?
Political fire for me really is from my Uncle Ray Joseph, who was the ambassador for Haiti to the U.S. at the time. So, he was part of the crew that, when Baby Doc was the dictator, he was part of, those that set up a mission to overthrow him, He's a serious guy. Always been in the undertone. For me, I'm not a politician. If I was a politician, I would have won the election, because I would have had a strategy which more focused on winning the election at the time. I ran for president of my country because of the urgency. Over 50% of the population is youth, and I felt coming from there, you would need a leader that understood the youth and could make sure that they part of the world agenda and where Haiti can go in the future,
right?
And to energize the diaspora that's outside of Haiti, and to get them to want to engage back in their country. That's why I ran.
Now, we're kind of jumping from, and so I'm going to bring this up. There was the concert in Haiti, which the book really shows that it was a seed where you saw you could have your impact, and you're just speaking about why you ran. I know that you've mentioned this in the interview that the other books coming up will talk about you as a president, but where can you see the direction of Haiti going, and even politically the Caribbean going, with the causes that you're trying to do?
Well, when I do music, there are those that say I'm more Jamaican than Haitian, and they probably say that for reasons that they don't know. They probably not aware that Boukman was a Jamaican that left Haiti, that left Jamaica at a young age, went to Haiti. The revolution would not have happened without Boukman, Toussaint Louverture, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, just to name a few.
Many Jamaicans came over and fought with the Haitian.
Yeah, so that means for Haiti to get right, the whole Caribbean got to get right. And it really has to be one force, you see? Because just take like the rice trade, for example, or take agriculture. That's not just a Haiti problem.
Right.
That's an entire Caribbean problem. And I think, at times CARICOM did extend themselves to Haiti, and in different forms. But I feel that moving forward, it's going to take like the youth of Jamaica to speak up, the youth of Guyana, the youth of Trinidad, the DR, Puerto Rico, to say, yo, and talk to the politicians, rally, say, yo, y'all got to do something for these people, because if Haiti gets better, the entire Caribbean get better. Remember that.
Well, that's the first Black Republic. That makes sense. Yeah. All right, let's go back to Wyclef. Come to America. You're up in the cold. What was your first thoughts that you remember when you came to the United States?
I had to get a bomber. Bubble goose. You know what I mean? So, for me, my thoughts is culture shock. You go from one extreme to the next. Unlike Jamaica, when you came, it was a little easier with the language because it was English. Right. But for me coming, it was a French colony. Right. So I didn't speak no English. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely culture shock, and it was hard in the beginning trying to adjust and fit in,
Now, you in the talk you just had, you told us about battling was one of your ways of fitting in. Describe for us and give us an idea of you battling in high school.
I mean, it's sort of like a DJ toasting, you know what I mean? The whole thing just comes from, you know, like when two DJs are going at each other, and that whole culture is from reggae, you know what I'm saying to you? I remember my first sound tape and the first speed. My first sound tape I heard was Stone Love. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I heard Stone Love, and I heard Saxon, and I remember the first speed rap that I had to learn. The German me call me stop me walk on street, me walk on full set right on the dance mic come to me it pan table se pass to black me brown me black rip me just whisper me back solar rock reggae chat jack on a buck on the top of the bottom be a trouble top electricity, you know, like you had to like so I had just loved the music and the culture and just wanted to be part of it, you know. Yeah.
And where how were you being, you said the tape, but how else were you being exposed? Were sound systems in your area and so on?
Well, I mean, for me, the reggae really, I studied the reggae with the tape, because once, like, you know, you get up on Stone Love, then you start getting interested in what is this sound, you know, then you start listening to Saxon, you know what I mean? And then,
you ever got to Jaro?
Of course, you have to get to all the sounds, you know, because you learn it. And then then you start to understand that DJs come from the sounds. So whether if it's super cat or different, so the same way like hip hop, you know, so all these hip hoppers were coming from different DJs, you know what I mean?
Right.
So interesting, definitely.
Now, we move forward, and of course in the book at this point we start talking about you getting into music and you and Praz working together. You know, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I mean, for me, you know, the Fugees, Praz, Lauren, the whole crew, just really, to me, it's a Cinderella story. You know, it's like, you know, the end of high school and catching a vibe in the studio, not knowing what you have because you're more just doing it for the fun and for the revolution of it. The Fugees is short for refugees. We always wanted to be militant and always wanted to speak from the very beginning. I always tell people, if you want to know what a group is about or individuals about, listen to the first CD. Take all the lyrics and break down that content. So it wasn't like the Fugees was a group that was, you know, came and talking about sex and all that stuff, and then we said, no, we gonna just flip it and be conscious, you know what I mean? Right. The Fugees came in very militant, you know what I mean, talking about issues like the Ku Klux Klan, you know, better watch out, this is a new breed of youth that's not going for it. We talked about political issues, on how Haitians were getting stereotyped, mistreated, you know. So to go from there, you never in your mind think that you're gonna end up being the biggest, one of the hip hop biggest group of the century, you know. You don't think of that. So for us to go from there and to actually do music and see the impact that the music can have, you know, and you know, it was a tough stuff, because even like when I sang No Woman No Cry, I mean, this is like blasphemy in the Jamaican world for a hip hop group to out of nowhere and they hit. But it's sort of like, you know, when Steve Marley even heard it, you know, he's like, man, there's something going on with these kids. They're not regular, because it wasn't for us. Like, we wasn't doing No Woman No Cry because, you know, we was trying to sell records. We was doing No Woman No Cry because we love like Bob Marley, and we really did, and we really do, and we just felt like that had to be mixed in a hip hop form, you know, because we wanted it to keep living.
Well, let me tell you, the interesting thing is, back in Jamaica, because I was still in Jamaica at the time when you did that, we didn't look at it as blasphemous, and I'll tell you why. Yeah. You did the dub plate for King Addies before that. Yeah. King Addies used to be number 10, and now Addies. And that let us know you had a respect for the culture. Yeah. So I'm here to tell you, no hip hop crew had ever done it before, but you did it right. Yeah. So props to you.
I mean, for us, it's really, I mean, we West Indian, you know what I'm saying? So the dub play a heavy part. I mean, actually, funny thing, I was in the studio the other day with Diplo from Major Lazer. You know, Diplo doing a lot of big tunes.
Right.
Like, he's one of the biggest producers, the whole Major Lazer crew. Man, and they sitting in the studio, and them do record for Bruno Mars, all type big record. We are talking about dub plate. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's dope when you see people like that understand the dub culture. Then it makes them dangerous because when they go do a record, they understand the hood,
Right.
and they understand the pop side of it. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because, as I said in our radio interview last week, I was at that Reggae Sumfest concert, and I'm here to tell you, dog. Let me frame it for you guys. This dude at Reggae Sumfest, he climbs up on the rafter. Now, night before Elephant Man went halfway up, this dude went 3/4 way up, and he says, "Sumfest, Montego Bay. My DJ gonna play this dub plate. If this place doesn't go crazy, I'm gonna jump off and kill myself." Now, I'm a sound man. So when you said that, I was like, okay, let's see if you really live up to what you said. This dude played a dub plate that every sound system wanted and nobody had, not even Stone Love. Because these were the days when Dave Kelly, whatever Dave Kelly's about to put out, is going to be the hottest song in the streets. And it's Baby Sham was his boy at the time. All we hear is, "Man, oh man, I froze, man. Wyclef for summer." And the craziest part about it is, of course, the Jamaicans and the New Yorkers would get it. But there were Japanese, there were English people, and they got it. And of course, I'm not going to pretend that they fully knew the whole deal of dub plates, but everything that Wyclef did up to this point, which leads me to my question, the performance, the guitar, the climbing the rafters, all that, which is what hip-hop artists don't do, was amazing. Wyclef, how did you figure that out? I mean, I remember your first performance in Atlanta, as we were on the phone, I was talking, and your DJ was spitting out water when he played water, and then you guys, and of course, you talk in the book about the goat. Seriously, where did you understand how to totally engage audiences the way you do?
I didn't understand. and that's the secret. I mean, that's the secret, man. I didn't understand. I just did. It's really no format to feeling and to expression. We love culture. We try to learn it as much as we can. So to your point, when it comes to yard culture, Jamaican culture, people try to play the reggae. I was like, unless you understand sound system, you wasting your time here. And so to be at a young age and to discover, it's called a love of music,
Right.
Like, there's kids out there that got so much love for music that they're gonna try to figure out, all the parts. And then I'm a church kid, so I think coming from the church plays an important role in what I do, naturally, because you in the church and you have your guitar, and even when you run out of songs on the hymn book, you have to start make up some tune,
Right.
for the congregation, and I think that had a lot to do with it,
All right, speaking of the church, of course, in the book we learn your father was a serious Nazarene preacher and definitely did his thing. He held down the church as anyone could, and your grandfather was a voodoo priest. Your father rebelled against your grandfather to become a Christian preacher, and you rebelled against your father to become a hip-hop artist. And during that rebellion, Uncle Ray looked out for you, Ray Joseph. Now tell me something. How are you going to handle if your daughter decides to rebel against you?
I mean, she 9 times out of 10, she will. That's just the way the cycle go, but we very straight up, honest with each other. She's 7, she has a lot of opinions, and all I could do is listen. She already told me she's a better rapper than me. And she kicking a freestyle, and I just gotta let her grow. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I brought up Uncle Ray, who of course had a experience in politics before you did. Do you guys, especially since you ran for president, you guys sit down and talk about this? And how did that conversation go?
I mean, that's my uncle. I ran against him. You know what I mean? And politics could be a vicious cycle, But that was my uncle first. Always be my uncle. Afterwards, we still talk. Made up, you know what I'm saying? But around the politics time, it was like, it was crazy, cause for a nephew to run against his uncle in a race for president,
In front of everybody, y'all know.
some crazy stuff. Cause certain people said told me, no man, you have to support your uncle, just and I felt he's very strong. It's just at the time I felt my calling was to represent for the youth of the country.
Now let's go back to the book. Purpose, immigrant story. There's a huge raging debate about immigration right now. You think your book is going to have any impact on that? And if so, how?
I mean, well, within the immigration law that's in my book, it was the fact that back in the days in America, if you had a child here, they became an automatic citizen. This is the law that allowed me to benefit today. But like I was telling you, since 911, the immigration laws change, and if we really want to get something passed through immigration, we can't let them keep separating the Mexicans, the Cubans, the Haitians, and then, we all are going to Congress separately. Even when we do different groups, the groups are not turning out in millions, So I think we need to form one coalition and show up in millions for the laws that we want passed.
Now, I know I got to wrap this up because we're coming close to your next appointment. So, if there is one thing that you want your fans to understand, when looking at music, your causes, your career, so on, what would that be?
I mean, really, I always want the youth to understand anything that they want to be, they can be that. And a lot of people tell you, whatever you dream, you could make come true. But when you're in the ghetto, there's no such thing. Don't just let a man tell you dream. That's what the preacher man I say, you dream, wake up. The idea is to wake up from your dream, and to make it a reality, you have to be active and you have to keep pushing for your opportunities.
Is refugee sound system coming to World Clash?
Well, I mean, big up to Sean Meadows, Gaddafi, the whole crew that, what I'm saying to you. And, they still training, what I mean? It's a big sound, and for me to show up in a clash, you see, it's a lot of preparation to be done. That's like showing up like for the Olympics, you know what I'm saying? Right. So you can't show up with a half a foot.
but you got Kenny Rogers and Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston double it, what I'm saying?
No man, me have some new ones too, and me always ready for the clash still, And
last one, at least, refugees reunion.
I mean, in America, they have a term, never say never. Good, love, honor, respect.